Ronnie Alexander, absent. Sandra Hickson,
Present.
Sam Harris,
Here.
Amanda Grant,
Here.
David Ocampo,
Here.
Jenny Barbahan, here, and Della Patterson, absent.
Okay. We, at this time, we are going to retire to executive session for litigation when an action against, affecting, or on behalf of the particular public body has been filed and is pending before a court or administrative tribunal, or when the public body finds that an action is probable or imminent, in which case the basis for the finding shall be recorded and entered into the minutes of the closed meeting, 5 ILCS 120/2C11, for the appointment, employment, compensation, discipline, performance, or dismissal of specific employees, specific individuals who serve as independent contractors in a park, recreational, or educational setting, or specific volunteers of the public body or legal counsel for public body, including hearing testimony on a complaint lodged against an employee, a specific individual who serves as an independent contractor in a park, recreational, or educational setting, or a volunteer of the public body, or against legal counsel for the public body to determine its validity. However, a meeting to consider an increase in compensation to a specific employee of a public body that is subject to the Local Government Wage Increase Transparency Act may not be closed and shall be open to the public and posted and held in accordance with this act. 5 ILCS 120/2C1. Collective negotiating matters between the public body and its employees or their representatives, or deliberations concerning salary schedules for one or more classes of employees. 5 ILCS 120/2C2. Do we have a motion? Did you say, oh, I'm sorry, did you say?
Yeah.
Okay. You want a second? Okay.
Second.
Thank you. All right, can you please call the roll, Ms. Berman?
Sure. Ronnie Alexander,
Here.
Della Patterson, absent. David Ocampo,
Aye.
Jenny Barbahan, aye. Sam Harris,
Aye.
Sandra Hickson,
Aye.
Amanda Grant.
Aye. We are now in closed session at 5:35. have our student recognition.
Good evening, Board President, Board Vice President, Board Secretary, Board members, and community. Good evening. We're going to get started with our student recognition today from our very own PMSA, Miss Abigail Polaramos.
Hello, my name is Abigail Palomares. I'm a senior here at PMSA. So what I wanted to talk to you guys today about is the empty bowls accomplishment that we've achieved this year. So I would like to talk about an event that's been reoccurring. It has not just been this year, but it's been reoccurring in years past with an event that Miss B herself, an art teacher here for about half a decade now. She's been holding this event in PMSA's own lunchroom. And she has provided an opportunity for art club students to create ceramic bowls for an event known as Empty Bowls. Empty Bowls is an annual nationwide event where we are able to sell empty bowls that are handcrafted and decorated by the students themselves. This year alone, we were able to sell almost 100 bowls, and this was alongside the PMSA's own culinary club, where we were able to sell, along with our bowls, the various soups that are created by a culinary club and the IB art exhibit that happened this February. And it was held in our own cafeteria. 85 bowls were created, 85 bowls were sold. And all the proceeds are going to be going to the Proviso Township fund in order to fund food donations. The world is lifted one helping hand at a time. Why not continue creating art in order to continue this, to surpass our limits and help those in need? That is what Empty Bowls ensures that we do every year. And we have done this every year so far. So I present to you the check of $850.
Board, can you get a picture with her, please?
We have some representatives from Best of Proviso Township here that are here to receive this. So thank you for being here.
We can get a couple of you on the second row. Step up one step. Perfect, thank you so much. Great. All right, everybody, nice big smiles. One more. Thank you so much.
Well, let's put our hands together one more time for Miss Abigail. Here you go. All right, thank you again, Miss Abigail. Our next recognition will be from each of our high school, and we'll get started with West High School first, where we will recognize the top 10 students in the class of 2023 from West High School. Please come forward.
Good evening, President Grant, Vice President Ocampo, Secretary Barbihan, distinguished members of the board, Superintendent Dr. Henderson, and Deputy Superintendent Dr. Williams. I just first want to thank you, students, for doing such a great job. It's not easy being in the top 10. You guys persevere every single day. and you gave it your all. So congrats to you, and not only congrats to you, your families, because you have a good support system. So congratulations, let's give it up to them. All right, first I'd like to recognize Mia Villanueva. Shanice Hassan. Emily Guerrero. Javier Rodriguez. And last but not least, Edgar Garcia Villanelle.
Can we get a picture, please? Go ahead, give it up.
Okay, so thank you for going up to that second step already. Good. Appreciate it. All right, everybody looking right here. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Stay there. 1, 2, 3. Thank you so much. Okay, good.
No, you keep it over here. All right, next up we have East High School Principal, Mr. Hull. Will you please come forward? East top 10 scholars, please come forward.
Good evening, everyone. President Grant, Vice President Ocampo, Secretary Barberhan, and fellow board members and Dr. Henderson. I want to thank everyone for coming out here tonight to help celebrate our top 10. Seemed like we lost a few of them. I met with them earlier today and was telling them what an honor it was to be honoring them this evening, and that I look forward to, I've had them for the last 2 years, and I, just reminding them, this is our freshman class that came in that was impacted by the pandemic. They left as freshmen in March of 2019, and we're here honoring them this evening. So without further ado, lost a few of them, but I'm gonna announce all 10 of them. Anna Reyes Garcia is our vice. Paris Jones is here this evening. Okay. Dulce Estrada. Angelica Mondragon. Myra McClain, Luis Cortez Cruz, DeAndre Benson, Juan Vega Montez, Jamie Ginn, and Christina Baraka on the Baraka.
Come put your hand up. He don't even have to stand on the second leg. She good. You know what? Slide over just for a minute. Yeah, right there, perfect. All right. And then you can come over a little bit, ma'am. There we go, perfect. All right, and Madam President, you can go a little bit to your right. There we go. Well, okay, if you want to, that's fine too. All right, here we go. 1, 2, 3. Stay there. 1, 2, 3. Last one. 1, 2, 3. Thank you so much.
And last but not least, none other than the principal, Mr. Nell from PMSA.
Good evening. Thank you. President Grant, Vice President Ocampo, Secretary, Barbahan, distinguished board members, Superintendent Dr. Henderson and Deputy Superintendent Dr. Williams, thank you so much for this opportunity to introduce our top 10 scholars from PMSA. We're very, very proud of these young individuals. Many of them are at home tonight. We actually have 7 IB and AP exams that we're administering tomorrow, so not all of them could make it tonight. But I would like to recognize all of them, especially the ones who are here. If my scholars. Oh, okay. Here. Thank you. So first is Karina Villarreal. Jayla Singleton. Kevin Jones. Deanna Del Carmen. The names of our students who can't make it here tonight. Emily Nogura, Belen Rubio, Andy Tron, Charles Alcaris, Ariel Garcia, and Sahar Muhadin. Please give up.
Take your places like usual. Yeah, students, slide over just a little bit. Keep going, keep going, keep going. Actually, you know what? Let's do this. You can go ahead and back up some. The two of you can come on this side. Yeah. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Can you, the two of you slide over? Yes. No, you're good, you're good. There we go. That way they can slide right there. Thank you so much. All right, perfect. Here we go. Everybody looking right here? Yeah, let's everybody open up your certificates. Go ahead and open them up like she did. Like Deanna said and standing. There we go. Thanks, lady. All right, here we go. Everybody smiling? 1, 2, 3. Stay there. 1, 2, 3. Last one. 1, 2, and 3. Thank you so much. I'm sorry.
Mr. No, I want you to take a Thank you, guys. You guys
Sounds good.
Thank you, Mr. Simpson.
That's what this work is all about. Let's give it up for them one more time. Not only are we turning out great scholars from across the district, now we're getting ready to employ some of those scholars. So we'll get started with PLCCA as they will come forward with possibilities to put these great scholars to work this summer.
There we go. Perfect.
Good evening to the President of the Board and Vice President, Secretary, and the distinguished board members of School District 209, and to the Superintendent, Dr. Henderson. On behalf of Bishop Dr. Claude Porter, the President, Founder, and CEO of PLCCA, we are so indeed honored to be here and appear on your agenda this evening. We'd like to introduce a program called the Illinois Youth Investment Program, and I have my team members here that we're going to go through the slides here. Let's see if I can. That's right. I want to start off, however, with our mission. The mission of PLCCA is simply to advocate for social change. How do we do that? By promoting community development while empowering individuals with education, training, and supportive services. So this evening, as Superintendent Dr. Henderson has stated, we're here to talk about employment and training and to getting our young people to work and hopefully through the schools here. So without any further ado, I'd like to introduce Cosette Carter, who is the Associate Director of the PLCCA's Employment and Training Services Division.
Thank you, Ms. Morrell. So the Illinois Youth Investment Program is an employment program for youth funded by the Illinois Department of Human Services. The program invests in the future of low-income and/or at-risk youth who are in school or out of school between the ages of 16 and 24 who reside in Illinois. It provides part-time and full-time job opportunities for employers to be able to make an investment in today's youth. There are two categories. Category one is the short-term summer employment for a minimum of 180 hours or up to 13 weeks. Category two is long-term employment, not to exceed 9 months or 39 weeks. The benefits to the youth is that they will participate in part-time paid work experience between 20 and 25 hours per week. They'll receive or earn competitive pay starting at $15 an hour and probably up to $16 an hour as of July 1st. Upon completion of the work readiness training requirements that we set, or that is set by the grant, they'll receive a $250 incentive paid by PLCCA. In addition to that, they'll also receive case management services to include life skills, training, counseling, and work readiness training. They'll also receive wraparound support services, including transportation services, so that may include a bus card or a gas card as needed, uniforms. It doesn't apply necessarily for the district, but it is a benefit in the program. And then also paid entry-level work experience that will develop their essential employability skills. We're asking the district to sign a linkage agreement between PLCCA and the district to hire student participants as employees of the district, so it'd be on your payroll, and pay them a minimum of $15 per hour. We're also asking that you'll provide job descriptions for the placements. So one job description that will basically embed all of the different duties that they would be doing at the Proviso High School, and then also assign or have a Proviso staff member manage those youth. And then monthly, submit an invoice for reimbursement to PLCCA. And so to talk about the reimbursement process, we have Ms. Cross, the program manager.
Good evening, Board. I apologize for my voice. So the reimbursement process is as follows. The district will submit an invoice to PLCCA by the 10th of every month for the month prior. A part of submitting that invoice, you will include supporting documents, which will include any record keeping as well as the check stubs for each youth. And the district will receive payment the following month within 30 days of the submission of the invoice back to the district from PLCCA. We'd like to open the floor for any questions.
Yeah, I have a question. This part of the IRA and PG and CJO program?
The
Or
IRA?
Inflation Reduction Act?
No, to my knowledge, no, with the Illinois Youth Investment Program funded through Department of Human Services. I don't think that there's a coalition between the two, but I will certainly find out in case I'm not correct.
No, because I was seeing you have the solar program.
Well, the solar, that's what we showed with some of the pictures of. Like PLCCA right now has solars, where we did a solar program with ComEd. And we received almost $500,000 to do that, where we had program solar designers, ambassadors, and that was just a few months ago that we completed that program with ComEd.
do you do offer the certification with the NAPSET?
Yes, we did that for a different program, which was with the union. That was a year ago, and that did include actually training the youth, and we did it out of Calumet City for them to actually go to school and get trained and then be prepared to take that particular test. It was an apprenticeship program that we did.
Yeah, because the reason I'm asking is because most companies right now through 2025 are actually trying to certify the workforce, different categories per se, so I don't want to say just a certain category or a group of people.
Exactly.
To work in the solar industry through
Yes.
2025.
And that's very important because, to your point, we did have that particular, one of those programs run through Illinois Youth Investment Program with a partner, which is United Marketing or Unity Solar Group. And so we were able to reimburse, to your point, through IYIP for them to actually go out and be designers and programmers, ambassadors for solar.
Right, because Urban League...
It's just separate from this particular one that we're talking about tonight, but it is a coalition.
Urban League in Aurora does the same thing for high school students.
Yes, sir.
Maybe recovering credits, they'll give them the recovering credit courses and they'll give them the solar class as well.
Yes,
So
yes, sir.
Do you guys do that or no?
At this time, no, that has ended, but we're hoping to start that up maybe again in FY24. It's very important because solar is the space that we're in right now. So we're trying to make sure that we prepare our young people for that. But thank you for your question, sir. But this is real important about the Illinois Youth Investment. It's making an investment in our community, into our youth. And for them working in the schools, throughout the schools here, it allows them to make an investment back into the school where they can have pride to see if they're reorganizing the weight room, or I know there's a surplus of computers that need to be gathered up. You already have a vendor that you utilize for that, working in the book room. But having that pride of, okay, I've done something back for my school. And the other students that attend will see that that investment was made by those individuals that we could bring on, that you would hire. So it's a win-win in our opinion on both sides. We do this with the villages already, the village of Broadview, the village of Bellwood. They have done it for the last couple years. And as she mentioned, there is a category 2, but that's for long term so that we can place someone for 9 months or up to 39 weeks. And you would hope at the end of that, that employer would make an investment to what? Hire them. Because they've been reimbursed their bottom line all this time. But this component, category 1, is for what the state has put in, or DHS, for the summer piece, to work up to 180 hours. So if you all say yes, which we hope that you do, and do a linkage agreement, they will still have hours left over that they can return that following year and complete those particular hours, or roll it over into category 2 for those who maybe are coming out of school, if their choice is not to right away go to college. Okay. Any other questions that you may have? All right, do we vote now?
Thank you so very much.
So thank you for your time. We appreciate your attention to this.
All right, we'll move on quickly with just a summer school update along with our summer reading books.
We still have comment.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Sorry, that's okay, that's okay. That's okay, we've got a bunch of stuff, we've got great stuff for everyone tonight. But right now, we're gonna go ahead and do citizens' comments. To my knowledge, we've not had any requests for time over 3 minutes, so Ms. Barbahan is gonna set the timer for 3 minutes. Do you wanna call people out? Sure. Okay. I'm going to, yes. At this time, the Board of Education opens the floor for citizens' comments. The board will receive public comment from any individuals present this evening and have submitted a request to address the board per the established procedures. We believe that all participants in the meeting desire the best outcomes for our students, families, and communities. As a reminder, this meeting is being live streamed and will also be archived and available on the district website.
First up, we have Jennifer LaBash.
Ms. LaBash, are you here?
No?
Okay.
Next, Margarita Lavastor.
Good evening, everyone. It is a pleasure to come up here and start what I hope will be the beginning of many productive dialogues. Like many children during the winter holidays, I have a long wish list of items. In the interest of time, please allow me to focus on an area that I know needs to be addressed from the 5 Essentials survey, and that is the area of teacher agency and involvement in the school and district improvement process. We need to transition out of a top-down approach and work together as professionals in order to help make our district be a better version of itself. I believe that this approach is critical to our success. We can address this issue in these areas: new teacher orientation and mentoring, school and district improvement planning, and professional development. First, with new teacher mentoring and orientation, we need a strong program of it, like a 4-year program, which is very similar to the ones of the high-performing districts in the state. These districts involve teachers collaborating in the planning and implementation, which helps the faculty to actually be vested in the new teachers, not only just succeeding, but also staying. Research shows that a strong mentoring program provides a vital system of support for teachers who are new to teaching or new to a school district and helps reduce the amount of teacher turnover. If we can get more of the tenured teachers involved in assisting, we will have a good base of teachers who can assist and make mentoring a very positive one-to-one experience. Next is to see what I have seen in other districts in which I worked, and that is to have a district improvement committee and a school improvement committee in each building. My understanding is that SIP committees, as they are shortened to, are mandated by the state, but moreover, my understanding is such planning committees are also to involve all stakeholders, including teachers. It would be great if we could use something like PLC time to do a school improvement planning committee, and then maybe another week at PLC, it's the subcommittees meeting. I have seen it, I have been a part of it, and I have witnessed it. And having participated in these types of committees before, I can vouch that it has helped. It helped improve climate, helped improve culture of the buildings, and it also helped student performance, especially in the areas of academics and even test scores. The beauty of it all, though, is that it is possible for the teachers, the parapros, and the administrators to collaborate in the very best interest of the kids. And finally, my last wish is also in the area of professional development. I would like to make my wish for a professional development committee that does involve teacher and administrator collaboration as well. I believe that this is another way that we can work together to help improve instruction, where teachers could be training each other in high leverage practices that they know how to use, or things where we can do something like, team building among the faculty, or they know each other. So these are proven to work time and time again. I do have others, but that's going to be for another board meeting. But all I'm asking is that we have a place at the table for myself and my fellow teachers and school staff so we can help all of our students succeed in the long run. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next is Glenda Thomas.
Good evening to the board, Madam President, Superintendent Henderson, all of the parents and students who make up this meeting tonight. I stand here today and I am representing Bishop Dr. Sappho and P.T. Mann. He could not be here today, so he sends his regrets, but we are standing in his stead to read his statement. Once again, I am Missionary Glenda Thomas, and I work with the Safe School Initiative inside of, we've worked in Proviso East last year, and we hope to be in the best of the schools this upcoming school year. We would like to express to you our sincere commitment to working with you and Dr. Henderson, especially as you both navigate through the process of transitioning our school through our school district through the challenging upcoming school year. Also notably, there are inherent challenges in running any organization. The most difficult challenge is the challenge of maintaining corporate equilibrium. We would like to encourage the leadership to ignore those external conversations which are sometimes contradictory to what is wholesome and what is true. We recognize they may have a right to their opinion, However, that does not exempt their voices from the scrutiny of what is accurate and what is really honest. As Dr. King said, you must get the language right. Additionally, we are aware that there are some who oppose the works of Superintendent Henderson. While we are not here to contribute to that debate, however, we do believe that the facts are important as such. In our opinion, everyone should be inspired by the facts and the things that were accomplished under his leadership and the previous board. We are aware that the guiding this district through the worst pandemic of our times, he and his team were able to navigate the district through safe shores. For example, the monumental things that were done were to keep all the teachers, staff, and the payroll going through the entire time of the pandemic, which was truly a blessing for us all. There is more. I only want to mention about these 5 things. We're getting Proviso East off the list of the lowest performing schools and having air conditioners installed. The freshman graduation rate has increased 63% to 85%. PSMA has ranked 6th in Illinois. The evening school program has become a popular choice for many. The credit recovery program via summer school has been very effective. Obviously, there are merely only a few accomplishments achieved by this administration and former board. Our prayers are that the kind of robust effort will continue under the new leadership. Dr. King posed the question in his book, Where Do We Go From Here? Chaos or Community? Madam President, Superintendent Henderson, we pose a similar question to you both. Where do we go from here as a district? Is it chaos or community? As far as we are concerned, we would like to see the spirit of community emerge from this new union. Specifically, the beloved community of Proviso, where chaos is never an option and division has not an opportunity. As it is written, Madam President, what therefore God has joined together, let no man put asunder. Mark 10:9. God bless you, and good tidings from Bishop Dr. Reginald J. Sappho. Thank you.
Denise Daniels.
Good evening, everyone. Excuse my voice. I'm in the process planning my wedding. I'll be married in 2 weeks, so I keep losing my voice. But I'm here on behalf of the maintenance department. I am the steward at Proviso West. I represent East, West, and PMSA. So myself, Vito is at East, Anthony Harris is at West, William Taylor is at East. We should always be notified. So my thing is, the reason I'm here is I'm addressing, it's a lot of things that goes on without us being told. Myself, there was an insurance meeting that people showed up to that should not have been there. I also was told that they're trying to raise our insurance. We don't have a contract, haven't had a contract in 3 years. We were in the process of doing the contract. I'm not doing no name blaming. I don't know if it's the board, the union, I'm over it. I just want us to get a contract. Therefore, no one has reached out to me. My school email is there, my cell phone is the same number. You can Zoom, whatever. I have never, ever did the name game. We, the maintenance and custodial department, are literally working. We're overworked, underpaid, and here you are trying to raise Tier 2 insurance 14%, 40%, whatever it is. We don't even have a contract, but we're talking about raising money. No one on the 5th floor is getting their insurance changed. It's free, right? That's just wrong. That's just wrong. These people work hard, and they don't feel appreciated. Yes, I'm here by myself because that's where my mother raised me. I'm going to speak the truth. I'm not going to be scared of anyone, and I hope that the rest of the maintenance and custodial department speaks up. First off, the insurance lady, I will not say any names. I am tired of her calling other people in meetings that shouldn't be in there. Again, I gave the name. Last but not least, I fought for money with the insurance, and the lady hasn't paid me my money. I fought for other money years ago, for Ms. Craig, Therese Craig, Michael Graham. I received my money and it still wasn't right. And this is just recently. Therefore, then they decided to do retro for 3 months. No, I've been working here almost 20 years. I want my retro for the 2 years. By law, that's owed to me. And I know Ms. Craig wants hers too. So I'm just here for a fair contract. We're talking about giving money. We're talking about programs. Let's take care of the maintenance department. To the teachers, we love you guys. We appreciate you guys. To the board, I just want everybody to do right by everyone. So to the ones that helped us, thank you. To the ones that didn't, we still gonna come. We gonna be here every time. And I hope that maintenance custodians show up and support me here. Because I'm for everyone getting something. Not just me. Everyone getting something. Thank you.
Howard Wright.
Good evening, board. Good evening, Dr. Henderson and Proviso Township. Good evening. I am going to speak to you a little bit about supporting our babies. This good things happen in this district while supporting our babies. Thanks to this administration, AC will be completed and installed in our school by the time school starts in September. That's big stuff, people. Big stuff. Thanks to this administration, we're getting more and better security cameras throughout our school. That's big stuff, people. Wake up. Thanks to this administration, we're getting alarms for unmanned entrance doors throughout our building for safety. These are the type of things that we've been pleading for many years. We're getting them down. That's wonderful. Thanks to this administration, we're getting some of the best scanners in the world. The one similar to what they use at O'Hara. We need that at our school to make sure that we don't have the type of situation that's going on around the world, around the country. People getting shot every day. We need that. Westpac, Bill provides the West Compact. Parents are working hard to develop an environment conducive to learning for our babies, for West. Big deal. Parents are on patrol, greeting our babies as they pass through the security check. Clear the bathroom, hallways, and the stairway. Now I'll tell you what, the hallway and the stairway, they're better. But the bathroom, no change. I don't know why they want to stay in the bathroom, sitting on the floor, doing all that type of stuff, but they do. So I don't know what's going to take to change that atmosphere. Parents on patrol work, folks. It works. It would be better if we had more parents participate. Great job for the Proviso West parents. Supporting our babies, evening schools. Our babies have an opportunity to make up for lost credit. There's a variety of evening schools available for whatever need they might need. Thanks to this administration for bringing that to us. And tutoring, good folks, tutoring for the district. This is 24/7. I mean, some of our babies like to stay up late at night. So if they're up late, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, say, oh, I want to go online and get support. Here it is, folks. And this flyer right here should be listed throughout every classroom, every place where there's high visibility. Our babies should be able to look at this. All right.
Your time is up.
All right. We're supporting our babies. So you should be doing, everybody should be doing the same. Thank you.
Lynette Garcia.
No, you're good. That's okay. Hey, everyone.
Evening.
Good evening. How's everybody doing? My name is Lynette Garcia. I'm a 12-month employee at Proviso West High School. I've been working for the district since 1995. And my issue today is that in June, I'm concerned about our 2023 pay period that's coming up in June. That's less than 3 weeks. So what happened is that December 12, 2022, we received an email saying that we're going to miss one of our pay periods. We get paid 3 times in June, the 2nd, the 16th, and the 30th. In this email states that we will not be getting a check on June 16th because of leap year. Now, I'm saying, when is leap year? So I went and investigated. Leap year is not until February 29th, 2024. So I'm saying, okay, so maybe they got the information wrong. We received another email reminding us that our checks for the 16th will be taken. So I called the Department of Labor. I called, there's the Illinois Wage Payment and Collection Act. There's the Fair Labor Standard Act. And it states that if an employee works whatever time or date, that they have to get paid for it. You cannot work somebody for 2 weeks and not pay them. So what they're suggesting is that we're going to work for those 2 weeks but don't get paid. My question is, what do they think that we're supposed to work and not get paid? What's going to happen to this money that if all 12-month people don't get paid? And I don't know if you all know about it, but I work hard. All the 12-month employees work hard. The secretaries are the backbone of the school. So for them to suggest that we don't get paid, that we get taken, our money get taken away, that's absurd. So I'm up here to let you all know that's not fair. You can't do that. They said that we will get paid on the 12th, on the 2nd, and then the last pay period on the 30th. That means that's a span of almost a month where we won't have a check coming in to pay bills, to do whatever we need to do basically for our families and ourselves. What about the teachers? What about the exempt employees? Are they going to get their money taken away? What about the administrators? How are they going to keep their money but take ours away? That is not fair. So I'm coming to the school board to see if you all was aware of it and to see what can be done so we can get our money. That's it.
That concludes business comments.
At this time, we have the superintendent's report.
Thank you again. Dr. Henderson, before you go there, I have a question to Mr. Moody in reference to the leap year that she was speaking of. And I kind of understand it a little bit. So it sounds like the 12-monthers were not notified until December, when they should have been notified July 1. Help me if I'm wrong. Because if they had been notified July 1, they would have had an option to say, hey, I want 10 months, back out and say I want 10 months instead of 12 months. Is that correct? But because they weren't notified until December, they didn't have that option. Is that so?
Come to the microphone, mister.
Okay.
Good evening, board.
Good evening.
The notifying them July 1st would not have made any other option available to them. I'm going to try to oversimplify this, but we pay people ahead of time. And that's why that's one of the reasons why this comes about. So we're paying people ahead of time. We don't pay people based on the actual hours they work in that particular period. We take their salary for the year and spread it out evenly. So when people get paid over holidays and vacations, they don't realize that they're getting paid for time they haven't worked.
So, Mr. Mooney, I'm gonna stop you. Because I did get many calls on this, so I took the liberty to call the treasurer myself. You guys knew in July. You should have notified your employees July 1 that if you want to change pay and move from the 12-month, because it's leap year, to the 10 months so that they would not go without a check. That should have been done. Also, you could have done, I think she said the 16th.
The 2nd, 16th, and the 30th.
Yeah, so you could have did something like the 2nd, 16th, and the 23rd. I have it written down at home. But I think they should have been notified July 1. Not only did I stop there, I called 6 other superintendents. How are you doing leap year? They notified the people July 1 so that was the beginning of the fiscal year. At that point, they could have said, I don't want my check in 12 months. Give it all to me in 10 so that we wouldn't be here. But no.
Yes, you're
It's not a
not
back and forth. Yeah, thanks, Mr. Moody.
You're welcome.
May I please say something? This is very pertinent to what you said.
I'm going to allow it, but next time citizens' comments are just going to be one way towards us, and then we're going to follow up with it later. But come on, since Ms. Patterson opened that can of worms.
I should have mentioned this. Okay, our contract stipulates that we get paid 26 pay periods. But if it happens to fall on the 27th, then at the beginning, like Ms. Patterson said, that they have to make an adjustment. On the first day of July, they have to sit down and they have to set 3 pay periods at the same amount so everybody can get paid at the right amount. I've been working here since 95. I've never had an issue with leap year, getting paid or anything. Because you know why? Because they sat down and they figured out how much money each pay period should be. Now, if somebody dropped the ball, we shouldn't have to pay for somebody being dropped the ball. If they did the math correctly, then they would have been able to figure it out how much each person should have gotten. Instead of saying, oh, since we didn't do what we were supposed to do, they won't get a check. So they're going to have to suffer the consequences of what somebody else negligence. And that's not fair. That's when I called the Department of Labor, and the Department of Labor said it doesn't matter. If you work those 2 weeks by law, federal and state, they have to pay you. And if not, they call that wage theft.
Thank you.
Thank you, Madam President. All right, we'll go ahead. We just want to quickly share with you an update around summer school, the reading list, and the new district-wide curriculum team that we have put together from some of our teachers.
Good evening, Board President Grant, Vice President Ocampo, Secretary Barberin, board members, Dr. Henderson. I'm Sharon Williams, the Deputy Superintendent of Schools, with a quick update on our summer flight program. and some summer learning. So we have revamped and are reintroducing our summer reading program. We have a required summer reading program for all of our students, grades 9 through 12. Any core ELA course, this applies to all scholars in those courses. So we have expanded this summer reading program to include all of our scholars so that we don't have an opportunity gap for those scholars who would like to participate in the summer. This is in direct alignment with our the strategic plan goal number 2, which states that all students will have access to and engagement with high quality, equitable, and relevant instruction. So again, this year we are also improving our support for scholars during the summer, during their summer reading. We will have links to mini lessons recorded by ELA staff. I was fortunate enough to view one of those videos already produced by Dr. Ann Gottlieb, and it is excellent and very engaging for our scholars. We're also going to ensure that all of our scholars have access and know about paper online tutoring so that they can get assistance throughout the summer. We also have advertised a position for summer reading lead. These individuals will be at each of our schools on-demand support for scholars who want help with their reading over the summer or their annotation and writing over the summer for those selections. And we have made a clear and explicit connection to the ELA standards and learning objectives in these lessons. Again, these summer reading assignments will be distributed to all of our ELA teachers, posted on our district website, and shared with our foundation schools. Book checkout at each campus will follow. This is a no cost to our scholars. They will receive the book of their choice. And here are some of our choices, samples of the books that students will be engaged in reading this summer. A wide variety of authors and engaging texts. So next I'd like to just share with you that as a result of our curriculum management audit, one of the findings was that we are in need of a district-wide curriculum team, a team of teacher leaders who will support each other and support schools and the district regarding our curriculum. And the individuals that you see listed here applied to be a part of this team. Ms. Albans led the charge along with our coordinators in interviewing all of these individuals. And they were also highly recommended by their principals. As you can see, we tried to get a wide variety of experience levels, content areas as well. We are still in need of a few more teachers in terms of our mathematics department, CTE, and PE and wellness. So if you are a teacher, we will likely reach out and try to recruit some other individuals to help us lead this team. The work of this team will begin this summer. We'll be working toward some of the recommendations in the curriculum management audit, including setting up a schedule of adoptions for our school district and also supporting professional development for our teachers. So thank you all for these nominations and an application to be a part of the district-wide team. These teachers are certainly going to be part of the solution to get all of our scholars on track to graduation and beyond. So I have a slide missing for summer flight, but I'll give you a quick update. So for summer flight, we are in the middle of registration for summer flight at this point, and currently we have 358 scholars who have registered for summer flight. That includes all of our programming, credit recovery, enrichment opportunities, our accelerated math program. So we're continuing to engage our school leaders in recruiting for summer school, both teachers and students. Currently on this evening's agenda, you have for your consideration 25 staff recommendations for summer flight. We are still recruiting. Mr. Valente is our lead for summer flight, along with 3 lead GLPs from each school, and our coordinators. So if there are teachers out there who are still looking for summer employment, we encourage you to apply. Those are all of the updates for summer school. The next couple of items are just some information items for your consideration this evening, 5 to be exact, and 1 action item. The first information item is a proposal for science equipment. So also, according to our curriculum audit and just anecdotal and survey information from our teachers, we are needing to revamp our science classrooms and to equip them fully. We have made an investment in this district to construct new science labs in several of our buildings, and we want to make sure that our scholars have access to high quality equipment in those classrooms. All science teachers were given an opportunity to give input as to what those materials and supplies and equipment that they're needing in their classrooms. There were several commonalities across buildings and across courses. Mr. Spelney, our science coordinator, then looked out to the vendors that he knows that provide high quality science equipment. And we also wanted to be sure that we provided equity across the schools. So one way we're doing this is to provide those materials and supplies, the equipment for each of our 3 schools so that they are completely outfitted. This also frees up money for the school principals to buy the consumable materials that science teachers need every day to conduct science instruction in their classroom. This investment is approximately $250,000, and the funding source is ESSER 3. As you know, ESSER 3 is a part of the federal government's plan to support schools and to support scholars through learning loss. We're leveraging that grant fund to ensure that we're fully equipping our scholars and our classrooms with updated materials and supplies. So again, just to be specific, we're proposing to buy microscopes and balances. We will have annual service contracts on those microscopes so that we can keep up with the upkeep of those materials. We're buying lots of beakers and to ensure that teachers across the campus can have multiple labs going on at the same time. We're buying some items for earth science and physics and also safety equipment. So goggles and other safety equipment to make sure that our scholars are safe using the science materials. And again, this will free up money at the school level to buy those consumables that science teachers use every year to keep their programs going. Including, I learned this year that there was a cat that was bought to ensure that students had access to anatomy and physiology in their classrooms. So those kinds of things are what we're freeing up money for schools to buy. The second proposal for you tonight in the information realm is for professional development. So there are 2 main areas that we want to continue the professional development for our teachers. One is through PLCs at work. So the district has supported professional learning communities in the past. What we have noticed is that there is unevenness between each of the schools regarding their professional learning communities. This year we did support limited learning for our school leaders and coordinators around professional learning communities. The proposal for you this evening is going to focus on schoolwork and also working with leaders. So PLCs at Work is a trademarked product by Solution Tree. We're going to engage in leadership training, district-wide training, also embedded coaching. So those embedded coaching days will be job-embedded coaching at school. So teachers and school leaders at each school will have a set number of days, and the facilitator will be on site at the schools during their PLC time, during their planning time and duty time to provide that professional development. In between sessions, we'll have those customized virtual sessions. The next professional development proposal has to do with supporting our new curricular resources in math and ELA. So SAVAS, Envision Integrated Math, and My Perspectives ELA will be implemented in the district next year. The investment for professional development will ensure that teachers have job-embedded professional development for the implementation of these two curricular resources. Again, the funding source for this professional development is ESSER 3 as well. They're going to support the teachers with the program activation, so just opening up the materials, ensuring that teachers know how to use the Teachers Edition, how to use the online resources, etc. Several weeks into school, then they will come back with professional development that goes a little deeper into the content. We will also have job-embedded on-site professional development for all schools and all school leaders. Each school will have at least 6 on-site days during the school year, where the facilitator will again come into the classrooms and work with teachers on the implementation for integrated math, Envision Integrated Math, and My Perspectives ELA. The next information item is for CTE curricular resources. So as we brought to you the curricular resources for ELA and math 1 month ago, we looked at our CTE curricular resources and again noticed, and we got feedback from teachers and school leaders, that we have gaps in the resources that teachers have to teach every day. So this resource is through Cengage is the vendor. This is an investment of about $318,000. The materials also, as most curricular resources, now have a strong learning platform where teachers and students have access to online content in addition to the hard textbooks or workbooks that go along with the program. The CTE courses that this will impact is wide-ranging and includes just about all of our CTE courses, if not all of them. And again, the professional development that goes along with this will begin this summer. The One Goal MOU is another informational item for you this evening. This is a partnership continuation. We began this partnership in the school year 21-22 as a competitive grant from ISB. We were granted that grant and started our journey with One Goal with the post-secondary leadership network and implementation of the One Goal classroom model this year. The state opened up another grant for us to apply to using ESSER, some of the ESSER funds that came available to the state in the form of a post-secondary success grant. The post-secondary success grant, we successfully applied for and was awarded that grant, and that covers the entire cost for the MOU with One Goal. So that includes the leadership network, and it also includes support for the classroom model. So the curriculum and professional development for teachers who will be teaching the One Goal classroom. The One Goal classroom model is a 2-year model. Currently, we have juniors at East, West, and PMSA attending One Goal classroom. Their second year will be their senior year, and then we'll backfill with juniors this year, this upcoming year. So next year we'll have juniors and seniors participating. The One Goal program also follows scholars after they leave us and support them in their post-secondary choice after they leave Proviso, after they graduate from Proviso. There's one action item for your consideration this evening, and that is Snap-on Tools purchase. So this purchase is for approximately $32,000. The funding source is Perkins and CTEI. The state granted another dose of money, another bucket of money for us to spend in the CTE realm, and tools for the automotive programs at East and West were in need of additional tools. So this purchase will be for those automotive programs at both East and West. It's an action item tonight as the state has put a hard deadline on spending these funds so that we can close out that grant. So that's your one action item for this evening.
Any questions?
Yes, I have a question. So I was at the advanced manufacturing sometime this spring, and they seem to have an issue, or actually a lack of the consumables, the metals that we're using for the machines. Are we preparing for the following year so we won't have that issue?
Yes, I'm actually meeting with Mr. Moody, I've met with Mr. Moody on the upcoming budget for next year. And so those consumable items are the ones that we're looking at expenditures from this year, and then making sure that we're accounting for everything that we need to spend next year. So yes.
Right, and the reason being the program's growing exponentially, so that's why.
Yes.
Okay, so you're forecasting for that growth?
Yes.
I have a question. Could you repeat the cost for Savant, I think Savant's professional development? Did you say it was $318,000?
Yes, that's an investment of $173,400, and that's both for the professional development for the Envision Integrated Math and the My Perspectives ELA. So the two proposals that are attached to this informational item are split up between those two programs, and that's also funded through ESSER 3.
Any other questions?
Yeah, I have a question about the One Goal MOU. On page 10, it says that the leadership network fees of $64,000 is covered by the district.
Yes.
Does the post-secondary success grant cover that, or is that?
Yes, so we were granted, let me find the budget sheet here. The state awarded us $241,762. The MOU with One Goal is a total of $217,000. The other money is budgeted for teacher professional development. So One Goal has a strong professional development service for teachers during the summer to be prepared for the classroom model. And we also budgeted money for instructional materials and supplies in those One Goal classrooms, so that the total grant was over the amount of the MOU for One Goal.
Any other questions, Steve? All right, thank you. Mr. Moody, thank you, Dr. Williams.
Good evening again. I'm here to share with you a financial update. Included in your board packet is the treasurer's report. That's an FYI document that gives you a snapshot of where we are financially. That would be this document. Additionally, in your packet is the the bill list for May. And so that's in your packet for review and approval. At this point, I'd like to open it up for any questions.
Any questions on the bill list?
Thank you. On the cash disbursement report, for $850, Westchester Food Pantry, what is that?
That is coming out of student activity accounts. I'd have to take a look at that. I can investigate it and give you some detail.
Do you know what that is?
That was the money that the art club had originally directed to the Westchester Food Pantry, and we redirected it, but the check was unfortunately already cut. But that is actually the money that's going to Best at Proviso Township that we had our presentation for earlier. Thank you.
Okay.
I have a question too. The books for the library, there's supposed to be an attached quote, but that is not in the bill list, or unless I missed it, if you could direct me to page for that.
Well, typically quotes wouldn't be attached. It would just be results.
Okay.
I have a question. Page 65, I believe there was a trip taken to Florida. 320. And then there was another trip taken to Atlanta, a day later, for $5,447. And then the next trip was $4,000, coming up to $11,649. Do we have an explanation about that? The conference?
I believe that was NJROTC, and they get funding from the Navy for that.
That's not what it says.
Let me grab my notes. Sorry. And what page were you?
65 and 66.
The Hampton Inn, Pensacola?
It says conference attending. Who?
That's NJROTC.
Okay.
I have several questions. Going to the treasurer's report for tort, fire and safety. And we spoke about this on Monday, last Monday. You have 247,000, for example, in tort, but you're budgeted only 2,400, right? So you're stashing a lot of cash right there. And the same for fire and safety. Are we going to keep that cash there, or is there a reason why it's just parked there and not over budgeted, but over allocated? If you look at the percent of revenue, it's like 108,000 or 102,000%.
It is, and that's something we can definitely look at. But as we discussed, we spend approximately $20,000 a month in legal fees. We do have the option of covering those legal fees with those tort monies. Currently, we've been taking it out of the ed fund, and that's just a historical practice that's been here. So we can certainly look at doing something different going forward.
So you're cushioning it, right? It seems like you're cushioning.
No, there was no intent to it. It's just what we inherited,
Okay.
and we just carried it forward.
Okay. Another question about PACE. I couldn't find PACE in the bill list. There's a contractual obligation, right, to pay PACE a monthly due?
That's correct.
And so why isn't it present in the bill list?
I haven't specifically looked for PACE, but we pay the requisitions that come to us. So that's probably something we would need to talk to the special ed department about.
I think we paid a pretty large PACE bill last month.
You know, sometimes they accumulate.
Right.
We'll pay 2 or 3 at a time.
Okay.
So I'm sure that will get caught up before the end of the year.
The AT&T charge for $83,000, that's for cell phone service? Is that like an annual fee?
I don't think that's an annual fee. I think that might be, well, to put that in context, we've been reviewing the AT&T relationship, and in fact, we migrated a lot of services away from AT&T because it was quite expensive, and it seemed as though we were paying for services that we weren't really using to the fullest extent. So we've been We've actually had a consultant that's been working with us to try to sort out those AT&T bills. And we put their payments on hold for a few months while we analyze the relationship. And so the 83 represents us saying, okay, we think we've got it to a good place. We understand everything we're paying for. The bills that we had held, let's go ahead and pay those. So this really brings us current with AT&T. So this is, I think, 2 or 3 months worth.
And it's for a cell phone plan, correct?
Not just cell phone, it's also hotspots for students, so Wi-Fi, hotspots, cell phone. There may be something else in there, but I'd have to take a look.
A question about an event that was held at the Hilton Oak Brook on April 3rd. Let me find it here. Two charges for $6,500 and basically totaling $13,000, I believe.
What page are you on?
Oh, I don't go by the page, I'm sorry. I'm doing a search on Excel.
Well, I'll search it myself.
It's 44, Mr.
44? Thanks.
I'm curious to know what event was held then. So rental for April 3rd.
I believe that is something that the schools hold on, it's gonna take a little more research.
Do we want to put a pin on that, or?
We can, otherwise I've gotta go into iVisions and search it out.
Sure, okay. Costs surrounding Power School, it's totaling about $115,000. One of them is, I think, there's charges for training and cost for e-forms, right? And are e-forms the web-based self-registration?
That's gonna be a Mrs. Swanson or Dr. Williams question. I just account for the money, I don't spend it all.
The so we have many applications for Power School. We have the SIS Enterprise, we have Performance Matters, Schoology, I can go on and on. So the e-enrollment and e-forms is a part of the e-enrollment process. So right now we have reverted to paper copy and inserting of forms. That was a temporary pause, but we will be going back to e-enrollment. So we did have to continue that service. And we have also professional development. We have a lot of Power School contracts, so I can certainly list all of those out. I believe they were just approved maybe two or three board member meetings ago.
When are we going back to online registration?
So we're in the process of heavy-duty training. What we have found is that we have not done a good job of making sure that all of our front office staff are well-trained to ensure that we have good data. So what we're doing is we're going back to original training for all of our front office staff and registrars so that we can shore up our systems to make sure that the information that we're putting into our student information system is something that we can then clearly report to the state because we're having a lot of errors. So we're going back so that we can get better and then go forward. Training is actually ongoing. We just set up approximately 8 sessions for front office staff over the next couple of weeks to ensure that we have good data. As we all know, garbage in, garbage out. So we're making sure that our processes are strong so that our student information is strong and we can feel good about. And we actually have a data integrity meeting every Monday so we can have integrity about the data that we're reporting to the state.
So will we go back to online registration this year, or what's?
It depends on how we're doing. So we want to eventually go back to that system. What we're ensuring now is that everyone is trained well, so that we can have confidence that that we won't have double registration, so that we have very clean data. We also invested in an add-on program to Power School that helps our registrars and other front office staff notice when there's a missing field. So for instance, if you are entering data for a student and you represent a date of birth, it's going to highlight it red for you so that you know you need to go back and make sure that that's put in the correct way. If a any kind of student information is missing that's required for us to house in our student information system, it will turn red or green or yellow to let us know that we need to go back and ensure the integrity of the data that we're entering for each of our students. So this has been a process that's happened since I've been here to make sure that we have well-trained staff so that we can stand behind our data.
Does anyone else have any other questions for either Mr. Moody or Dr. Williams?
I have one.
Oh, you do?
I'm sorry. I'd like to get some clarity on the barrier breakers invoice. That was $10,000 spent. Was it last month in April, right? Now, is it for like one video, several videos? How does that work out?
I think it's for a series of work. I think there's a bi-monthly video that's produced in addition to pictures and at various events around the district.
Would you happen to know if students are participating in the development of said material?
At this time, no, the students are not participating.
Do we know when they'll start
We
participating?
hope to start that sometime very soon. And the studio will be coming soon.
I did notice there were purchases for equipment. What does very soon look like? Well, actually, they're out, this summer, but are we looking at August, September?
Probably September, October, by the time we'll have the room.
Pretty much. Question about unique products. Is that, what exactly do they provide?
They provide maintenance supplies.
Okay. And the same for Metropolitan Corp?
Metropolitan, I think, does some construction.
Mr. Moody, so that I'm clear, we've spent $52,000 in litigation, is that correct?
That is correct.
Yeah.
Actually, it's, when you add in the retainer, which was a separate entry, it's 62,000.
Yeah, I didn't even want to go there with that.
Oh, sorry, I went.
That's all right.
Any more questions?
I just had a question about the invoices from 2018. Can you explain how that happened?
No, I can't.
Because I mean, that's a very old Invoice.
Yes.
Which one are you referring to?
You have an invoice for 300, you have two, or several. I don't have a page, I can give you the PO number. It is for Fleet US LLC.
Well, I can tell you what typically happens is you have transition, and you'll have someone managing a program. If they take another job, go to another district, sometimes the invoice gets lost in the shuffle. We have to verify, when it comes to us, which is the reason you're seeing it, is that we determine that, yes, this is legitimate. We did receive the service. And so at this point in time, all we can do is pay it.
Now, are we paying fees with that for something so far?
I'm not aware of any fees, no.
Then you have one invoice dated 2028 for Voucher Group, Inc., CRRA.
Sounds like a typo, but what page are you on?
It may be a typo because it's dated 9/11/2028, and you cut a check on 5/4. I don't have,
Oh, I
again,
see it. No, I see it.
What page is it, Amanda?
It's the INCCRRA.
Yeah.
That is page 47. I see it right here. Yeah, and that's gotta be a typo. Yeah, that's gotta be a typo.
Well, yeah, I'm sure it's a typo.
I'm just, just trying to make sure the data is clean and pristine, because I'm concerned about potential fees that we may be paying for things that, late payments, right? When you don't pay things in full, you incur fees and fines, et cetera. So I just want to make sure that we're following best practices so that we're not paying fees, that we're paying things on time and in full.
There are very few late fees that we're paying.
You know how much?
No. I mean, we'd have to summarize that information.
Okay.
I can just tell you from working with it, it's rare that I see a late fee for a normal bill. But having said that, we are human, and occasionally people make typos.
I have one. Page 54. $8,166. Could you tell me how many on-site these people came? It said on-site and virtual.
I'm sorry, can you give me that page number again?
Sure, 54. Total invoice was billed $16,332.
And what vendor was that?
NIA.
I wouldn't know offhand how many site visits they had made. We'd have to get back to you on that.
Dr. Henderson, do you know how many on-site visits they made?
Yes.
Yes, at least 3. So we have individuals who are working as principal coaches to shore up our school leadership, and yes, at least 3 on-site visits.
And weekly virtual.
Yes, at least weekly virtual coaching sessions. And that's funded through Title II for professional development.
All right, if there are no more questions, that concludes the finance report.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Moody. Mr. L.T. Taylor will conclude tonight's presentation.
Good evening, President, Vice President, Secretary, Board members, Superintendent, community, colleagues. Tonight we have a few action items to support the 2023 summer construction. The first one I would like to showcase is the Phase 2 sequence to access control. This is back at a house work. It's going to directly provide devices on the doors to ensure that when the door props open, security is notified. McWilliams Electric was the responsible bidder at $1,585,000. Meany Electric also bidded on the project at $1,768,000. The scope review was completed on April 28, 2023, and McWilliams understands the scope review and agrees to do the work as scoped by the architects. Moving on to access control for Proviso East move out. I'm sorry, this is Proviso East move out. School ends on June 14th and construction will start June 15th. So we solicited a few days in the newspaper with Gil Bang leading the work, and in the newspaper, Midwest Moving Company was the lowest responsible bidder and the only bidder at $115,068. This work will directly support about 70,000 square feet at Proviso East High School, moving furniture, file cabinets, desks, pictures, any and all equipment that's left in classrooms on the 14th so that construction can start on the 15th. The next action item for your consideration, this is carpentry work at Proviso East and Proviso West. Over at Proviso East High School, most of this work will be around the field house. We have old doors at the field house that's roughly 50 to 60 years old. We would like to get them replaced with new curtain walls, new doors, new locks to support the new access control system that's going to go into the field house and the surrounding areas at Proviso East High School. We had 2 bidders for this work. Straub Builders was the lowest responsible at $218,000. Bowler Construction came in at $256,000. The alternate work is $145,000. That is for doors that's going to go around the field house at Proviso East High School. The next action item is for essential services for Proviso East and Proviso West High School. Johnson Control has been a partner of Proviso Township High Schools for roughly about 12 years now. They purchased Simplex Grinnell, and we have our professional services, our fire alarm, our sprinkler system with this company. And can you help me get this? Just grab use the clicker. There you go. So the first section is for Proviso East High School. The first one is $29,000 for the fire alarm. That is for essential services to support all the devices throughout the building and classrooms, hallways, corridors, even on the exterior portions of the building. Also, the kitchen suppression system. We have an Ansel system in the kitchen to ensure if there's a grease fire, we want to make sure that we have proper equipment in that space to contain the fire and or eliminate as much damage as possible. The sound system is the emergency call system in every classroom. There's an emergency button in the classrooms that goes to security. This system is needed just in case if there's emergency services needed in the classrooms and or I believe there's 2 or 3 in the cafeteria at Proviso East High School as well. That total package is $49,942. Moving on to Proviso West High School. Proviso West High School head-end fire system support devices in classrooms and corridors and stairwells is roughly $28,522. Over at Proviso West High School, we have a small sprinkler system in our boiler room. That price is $695,083. Also, kitchen suppress system at Proviso West High School. This is a boilerplate like Proviso East, and that amount is in the order of $29,974 with a total of $79,869. And this is a snapshot to give you an example of how many devices are going to be tested annually and what's going to be tested semi-annually. All of these devices, typically over spring break, we get JCI in the building, hands-on, everything get tested to ensure that it's communicating with the first responders to make sure that we have adequate services in the event that we do have a fire or any other emergency event. You can see we have 525 heat detectors, we have 256 smoke detectors, so on and so forth. So this is a large sum of work. A snapshot of Proviso West devices, roughly 526 heat detectors. We have CO detection, smoke detectors, batteries, and this is annual work and semi-annual work in the kitchens as well. So any questions about the action items?
I just got a question. We might have talked about it before, but on the bottom of each of the action items, it says budget and funding fiscal year 2023/2024.
Yes, sir.
Now, this is not part of the 71 million that was supposed to be from the bonds, is it?
To my recollection, no. Mr. Moody, you want to answer that question?
So none of this is from those bonds that was supposed to kind of table, that we tabled. I just want to make sure.
No.
You're right. So it's coming out of the 2023/2024 FMP budget. Are you talking about the 4.5 million that we've been putting aside every year? Or what budget? Since we don't have the bonds yet.
Most of that can be, we get options. So we can use our operational surplus, we can use our fund balance. So we've got a couple of options. That's something we're looking at and we're putting together the fiscal year 24 budget.
So we're approving something where we have no budget for yet?
We have the funds and you can choose, but we have not determined it yet.
And then this work is like this is the only time we have time to do it, right, in the summer, because it's coming up.
Yeah. We have roughly 8.5 to 9 weeks to do this work.
Can we table this and then figure out the budget, or what can we do? It just, you know, if we're not, I know we got the money, but I mean, we haven't budgeted, so how are we gonna take the money and say, okay, hopefully we're gonna have this budget, and then we'll throw it in that line item and we'll see how it goes, right? Or,
well, we have options. We could decide at any point which source of funds we want to use.
and the reason I didn't ask for the last meeting was because usually we just get a presentation and we mostly talk about the FMP that's coming up. I know we briefly talked about this, but I did not notice anything that is not from that. I thought it was still from the monies for this year, for 2022/2023. Is that the budget we're in right now, 2022?
Yeah, but that will end soon.
Right.
This work will be paid after July 1, which would be the 23 budget, 24.
Well, we have, we're gonna have another meeting, right, so I suggest, that's just me, board, I suggest we table it and figure out where the money's coming from and make sure we're not gonna affect any of the fund balance somewhere else.
All right.
Just because of.
We'll make that happen,
Yeah.
Mr. Beltran.
So I think that's everything, right, that's everything, except for the testing. I don't think that was part of that, was that part of that?
No, so the testing come out of the standard operational funds. Yeah.
No, that I know we need. Like, I suggest we table the board, so please.
Okay. Any additional questions about the action items?
You said that testing would occur over spring break?
Typically, yes, because the testing agency needs to get in the classrooms, they need to get into the kitchens, so when those spaces are not occupied, we need to, that's when the testing is normally done. And then over the summer too, depending on what deficiencies are found in that summer report, in that spring break report in March, we have to get those vetted out if they're part of the essential services and covered underneath the warranty, and or something that's out of warranty that we need to make sure that we have funds for. And that list is normally about 20 to 30 items long each year, but nothing that we can't manage, and it's not a huge astronomical amount of money. But yes, this work is done over spring break. And we did not do this work yet. It is due and it is mandated, so beg and plead that we get this passed. We really need to get this done with JCI to make sure that our first responder systems are working as they should.
And that's, the deficiencies is just for the hardware, not for processes, right?
Right. There's some field devices, because technology moves so fast, the internal components are no longer backwards and forwards compatible with the new systems and the new software. So that device need to be upgraded.
So then we would need also training for personnel as well, right?
For liability purposes, we don't touch that system. Because in the event that something happens, the professional who is trained to operate, sequence, and configure this equipment, that's on them. That's not on the operations and maintenance department. We're here to manage and shut it off, put different programs in, turn it off during testing, things like that. So we don't do any professional work, but help get the systems, get access to the systems in the building. We don't touch them because of liability purposes.
Thank you.
No, see, I know sometimes we get busy and, you know, things just get hectic. And I was thinking maybe if you were able to provide this information at the facilities made, the same exact information that's going to be presented, I think we shouldn't have this issue again. You know, just so we don't have to.
It was.
Okay.
Yep.
I don't remember.
Yep.
Just exactly like this?
The JCI information?
Yeah, exactly like this.
Just like this.
Just like that?
It was in there. Yeah, it was presented. Any
All
other?
right. Thank you, Mr. Taylor.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, that concludes our presentation.
Definitely need a click. That's it. Oh, that's it?
President's report. Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. I know that these meetings take time away from our families and our rest time and relaxation time, and I really appreciate everyone who comes out, and I do appreciate everyone who's watching from home. Thank you so much for taking the time to be involved in the business of our school district. I appreciate you. So a few things that we have coming up. There are some immediate changes that you will see or have already seen. We have on the board agenda tonight, we are going to vote for our upcoming Board of Education meeting schedule. My proposal is to meet twice each month. For the first, and I mentioned this on May 4th, but our first several months will be used to, the second meeting will be used to catch up on the backlog of board business that we have. And then meetings subsequent to that, the second meeting will be used for mostly community and student engagement and coming together about ways we can make our district better. We have on our agenda and on the board packet tonight, we have more detailed personnel reports. We have the superintendent's report in there. David is going to be working closely with Mr. Moody and Dr. Henderson to get some different formats of bill lists available, so just that it's easier to read the bills. I know a lot of times we're really at the mercy of the Proviso Township Treasurer's Office in terms of how things appear, but we want to make it more readable for all of us and the public, and therefore we can be more transparent. So we'll be working on ways to better format these things, and it's not glamorous or like super fun, but it is important, and we are working on it. Something that we did tonight, guess where we had dinner, you guys? Anyone want to guess? We did order out. Poor boys. So these changes are starting immediately. We do have money in the board budget. We, and for all transparency purposes, we do get a dinner that we eat during closed session. During the next 11-12 months while I'm up here, we will be ordering from local mom and pop chains and keeping that money in Proviso Township. And then we also made a notice that the citizen comments have been moved to the front of the agenda. And that is where they will stay for the remainder of my term. And we do have some really fantastic upcoming initiatives. And I, again, am really asking for the community to be involved. We have our committees. We have Mr. Valtierrez is heading our facilities committee. Mr. Ocampo will be doing our finance committee. Ms. Hickson will be handling our policy committee. And Ms. Barbahan will be handling our parent and community engagement committee. We really want community participation, students, parents. If you live in Proviso Township, if you work in Proviso Township, if you're an alumni of our school district, we want you to be involved. So in the coming weeks, we will establish schedules for all of these committees for the upcoming year. And these are always open to the public, and these are also always recorded, and they are put online for viewing. So please, please, please get involved. Something else I had mentioned at the May 4th meeting, we are going to establish a cooperative community committee. And I am still workshopping the name because that is a lot. But that is open to everyone. Please email me if you are interested. This group will serve as both a board watchdog and student advocates. So this committee is really going to be tasked with a bunch of different things that we really want to have done, not just from us, but the ideas that come from the community and the ideas that come from the students and the parents. We really want to know the best ways to move forward that incorporate everyone's ideas, that incorporate solutions that work for everyone. And to get to those solutions, one of the things I will be proposing to my fellow board members in the May 30th meeting is that we send out, the board will send out a survey to the entire district community. This will be sent to students, to parents, to workers, all staff, all employees. There will be an option to be anonymous, but if you want feedback or you want to get involved or you want an answer to questions, there will be a space to include your name so that we can contact you. And we're doing this because we want to know about your experience in District 209. What is working? What isn't? What are your ideas for changing the school district for the better? What does your ideal school day look like? What have barriers been for you this year? You know, what are some things that we can do to help put you on a path to success? What support do you need from the administration and school board of this district? And we really want honest feedback. The good, the bad, the in between, we want to hear it because I think only by exposing these things can we really come up with solutions and move forward. So the results for the survey will go to the Board of Education, and from the Board of Education, they are going to go to this Cooperative Community Committee for quantifying results, prioritizing concerns, and developing and proposing solutions. So I'm very, very serious about involving the community in our initiatives here this year. So please reach out to me if you have any questions or if you would like to get involved. I would love to hear from you. And you will hear more about these things in the coming weeks. And then finally, for all of our students out there, I would like to just remind everyone about State Representative Norma Hernandez. She has a Youth Advisory Council. This is for kids high school age. They're going to have a meeting on Monday, May 22nd at 6 p.m. You can find more information on her website or by emailing her. And her district office is in Melrose Park. She is looking for students to serve on this Youth Advisory Council, and I would really like us to have some strong Proviso High School's participation in this. Okay, so if you have some free time, please check this out. And that concludes the President's report.
Thank you.
Next, we are going to go to our action items. May I have a motion to approve item number 13, the minutes?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. Ms. Barbahan, can you please call roll?
Mr. Alexander?
Aye.
Ms. Barbahan abstain. Ms. Grant?
Aye.
Ms. Hickson?
Aye.
Mr. Ocampo?
Aye.
Ms. Patterson?
These for the old minutes, right?
What?
So I understand that, but I'm just saying, only 4 people here can vote for those minutes, right?
I don't see how they're going to the minutes they were in the
Right, because I did hear you say, yeah, aye.
I chose abstain.
Well, okay, Ms. Hickson and Mr. Ocampo can abstain, but they've also read the minutes, and I don't think they were here for that meeting as audience members. They're not voting on closed session things, they're voting on things that are public.
You sure?
Keep going.
I do it, I just wanted to make sure, that's all.
Ms. Patterson? Mr. Belfiore?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you. I will now take a motion to approve number 14, the bill list.
Number 14, the
items
are scheduled.
Oh, I'm sorry, I'm so sorry.
Regular.
14, like, so I have to bring that.
Oh, thank you, thank you.
14 is going to be the Forest Park tips. Oh, I'm sorry. 14 is the meetings.
14, thank you. I'm sorry. 14 is the 2023-24 Board of Education regular meeting schedule. Do I have anyone to make that motion?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Okay, please call the roll.
Mr. Belfiore?
Aye.
Ms. Patterson?
Aye.
Mr. Ocampo?
Aye.
Ms. Hickson?
Aye.
Ms. Grant?
Aye.
Ms. Barbanen? Aye. Mr. Alexander?
Aye.
Carried.
All right, can I please get a motion to approve the Forest Park tip?
So moved. Second.
What is that?
Discussion?
Yeah, we'll get to it. Hang on one second. Who, sorry.
I had to add
You added it?
Yeah.
Okay, you got all this, right?
Yeah, I got it.
Okay, sorry, I'm just trying to get back. I'm sorry, who did the motion there for that one?
Sam
I
and
first, second.
Sam and Rodney, perfect, okay. Discussion.
Do we have can we get an explanation as to, I'm trying to understand what I know the last time we did this, for Bellwood, they presented to the board.
Right, we do have Mayor Rory Hoskins here. Mayor Hoskins, would you like to come up to the podium? Thank you so much for being here tonight. Yeah, thank you. Come on up.
Thank you, President Grant. Thank you, board members, Superintendent Henderson. So, Forest Park has a number of TIFs, tax increment financing districts. One key TIF that we refer to as the Brown Street TIF is set to expire in 2023. So the Village of Forest Park is reaching out to our taxing partners, including District 209, simply for concurrence in extending the life of this TIF for another 12 years. This is, of course, an Illinois state tool that allows communities like Forest Park and other small municipalities to address blight in our communities and sort of capture incremental property taxes and reinvest those property taxes in infrastructure and other development needs. Now in Forest Park, this particular Brown Street TIF is located sort of at the intersection of where Forest Park, Oak Park, and River Forest meet. And the main reason we're asking to extend it is to address some needed infrastructure improvements at the Harlem and Lake Viaduct, where the Green Line ends in Forest Park. That bridge is also used by Metro trains, and it's a real regional choke point. And so for years, the villages of Forest Park, Oak Park, and River Forest have been pursuing various grant funding. We believe that this year, with the passage of the 2022 bipartisan infrastructure law, we'll be in a good position to capture some federal money to address this regional choke point in terms of traffic. We see large trucks get stuck under that train, under that train bridge, let me say. 18-wheelers, if the tires are inflated a little too much, they literally get stuck. And so, we're working with IDOT and other partners. They propose widening the lanes, raising the bridge a little bit, so that it's not such a choking hazard. And the whole point of extending the TIF is that by capturing those dollars, it'll allow the Village of Forest Park to meet its local share obligation to the overall construction project, which is budgeted at about $30 million. That's a really big ask for a $22 million a year town like the village of Forest Park. So every year, we hold our annual joint review board meetings in the village and review these TIFs. All of our partners are invited to attend these JRB meetings. And so going forward, if this TIF is extended, we want 209, District 209 to be a part of the discussions. There may be some cases where monies may not actually be spent. And in the event that the monies are not spent, the village is prepared to declare a surplus and simply rebate those funds to the various tax partners. So District 209 makes up about 23% of what we have in the TIF. And so I think that kind of sums up our request, but we would simply like the district to join us in making the case that this TIF should be extended for the purpose I described. There are other projects anticipated, but this Harlem Viaduct Bridge is the main project that will be funded by the TIF in the coming years. And we see it as a regional transportation challenge and not simply a local Forest Park matter. So I'm happy to take any questions.
Any questions?
No, I think that explains it. I just wanted an explanation. We did the same thing for Bellwood for the nursing home on 25th in Washington. So thanks a lot, man.
Thank you, trustee.
Okay, then we can go ahead and call the roll.
Okay. Mr. Alexander?
Aye.
Ms. Barbahan? Aye. Ms. Grant?
Aye.
Ms. Hickson?
Aye.
Mr. Ocampo?
Aye.
Ms. Patterson? Mr. Gutierrez?
Aye.
Motion carried.
Okay. Thank you so much, Mayor Hoskins. Okay. Now we have the bill list. Thank you. Okay, can I get a motion to approve the bill list?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion?
Yeah, I gotta chime in here again. I have a question about the executive coaching fees, and now are those, the total almost like $34,000. Are those just invoices, or we've already paid those?
We have not paid them. Typically, all the bills on the bill list get paid the day after it's approved.
Okay. That's the only question I had.
All right. Any other questions? If not, please call the roll.
Okay. Mr. Gutierrez?
Aye.
Ms. Patterson? Mr. Ocampo?
Aye.
Ms. Hickson?
Aye.
Ms. Grant?
Aye.
Ms. Barbahan? Aye. Mr. Alexander?
Aye.
Motion carried.
Really quick, Ms. Sam, you had mentioned tabling.
Yeah, 17, 18, and 19.
So, okay. Can I get a motion to table items 17, 18, and 19 dealing with the facility master plan construction?
So moved.
Second.
Okay. Any discussion? Okay, this vote is to table. Please call the roll.
Mr. Alexander?
Aye.
Ms. Barbahan? Aye. Ms. Grant?
Aye.
Ms. Hickson?
Aye.
Mr. Ocampo?
Aye.
Ms. Patterson? Mr. Gutierrez?
Aye.
Motion carried to table.
Yeah, we will see this item again soon, but with the appropriate budget documents, Sam, and I'd love to work with you to make sure we have what we need, okay?
Thank you.
Item number 20, can I get a motion to approve the Johnson Control Plan Service Agreement Fire Protection for East and West?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Please call the roll.
Mr. Gutierrez?
Aye.
Ms. Patterson? Mr. Ocampo?
Aye.
Ms. Hickson?
Aye.
Ms. Grant?
Aye.
Ms. Barbahan? Aye. Mr. Alexander?
Aye.
Motion carried.
All right, can I get a motion to approve number 21, the Snap-on tool purchase? This is for our automotive departments at East and West.
So moved.
Second. Any discussion? Please call the roll.
Mr. Alexander?
Aye.
Ms. Barberman? Aye. Ms. Grant?
Aye.
Ms. Hickson?
Aye.
Mr. Ocampo?
Aye.
Ms. Patterson? Ms. Belfier?
Aye.
Motion carried.
Okay, we are on item number 22, the personnel report.
I would like to make a motion to table this.
All right, it's down.
The whole personnel item or just,
I mean, can we?
Yeah,
You can. You're making a motion to table the entire thing? Do we have a second?
Second.
Second.
Okay. All right, any discussion?
Discussion, why would you table the entire personnel report?
If we can we just table sections?
I don't believe we can table the resignation, can we, Mr.
No.
Gleason?
Table it doesn't mean it's ineffective.
Okay.
So you can pull out individual items to table it if that's the pleasure.
I would like to pull out the administrative employment then.
So item 1A1 and 1A2
Yes.
to table.
And we've got teachers in here to be hired and you don't want to hire.
Was there-
The motion now is just to table items 1A1 and 1A2.
Is that what you're doing?
Yes, not the whole thing.
Unless anybody else had anything else they wanted to pull from the personnel report. No?
So is there a motion and a second on the motion to table 1A1 and 1A2?
I believe that was Sandra.
Yes.
Okay, and then a second, so you can vote on that table, and then whatever happens there, then if it passes, then the rest of it, you'll just vote to approve or disapprove.
Thank you. Thank you, Bill. Okay, so this is for the tabling of items 1A1 and 1A2 in the personnel report. Just these two items only. Okay? Ms. Berman, please call the roll.
Discussion?
Oh, sorry.
So what are, we are tabling these till when and for what purpose? What's the purpose of the table?
I would like to look more into both of the hires.
Okay, any other discussion? All right, please call the roll.
Mr. Alexander?
Aye.
Ms. Barberman? Aye. Ms. Grant?
Aye.
Ms. Hickson?
Aye.
Mr. Ocampo?
Aye.
Ms. Patterson? Ms. Belfier?
Aye.
Motion carried.
Okay, now we are going to vote on the rest of the personnel report minus items A1A and 1A1 and 1A2.
So,
That was Rodney had motion? Okay. Do we have a second?
Second.
Thank you. Please call the roll.
Mr. Alexander?
aye.
Ms. Barberman? Aye. Ms. Grant?
Aye.
Ms. Hickson?
Aye.
Mr. Ocampo?
Aye.
Ms. Patterson? Mr. Belfier?
Aye.
Motion carried.
Okay, next we have the approval of settlement agreements for case number 22 CV 376. This was discussed in closed session.
This is item 20.
I'm sorry, what?
Item 23.
Yeah.
Yes, yes, item 23. Mhm. Can I get a motion?
Make a motion?
So moved. Any discussion? Or can we discuss? We can discuss.
Discuss it.
All right, any questions or discussion? Okay, please call the roll.
Mr. Belfier?
Aye.
Ms. Patterson?
Come back.
We'll wait for you.
Come back.
We'll wait for you.
Mr.
Come
Ocampo?
back.
Aye.
Yeah, wait. This is on the settlement, right?
That's correct.
Oh, aye.
And Mr. Campbell, you said aye. Ms. Hickson? Aye. Ms. Grant?
Aye.
Ms. Barbahan, aye. Mr. Alexander?
Aye.
Motion carried.
Thank you. We are on number 24, approval of settlement and agreements with certified staff and PTU. Is there a certain way I need to read these?
So the first one, just make a motion to approve the settlement agreement with each individual employee by name and vote on each of them.
Okay, so I need a motion to approve our memorandum of agreement for Mr. Carlos Villanueva.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Okay, please call the roll.
Mr. Alexander?
Come back to me.
Ms. Barbahan, aye. Ms. Grant?
Aye.
Ms. Hickson?
Aye.
Mr. Ocampo?
Aye.
Ms. Patterson?
This is the name.
Mr. Gutierrez?
Nay.
Mr. Alexander?
Nay.
Motion carried.
All right, can I please get a motion to approve the memorandum of agreement with Ms. Michaela Soto?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, please call the roll.
Mr. Gutierrez?
Aye.
Ms. Patterson?
Aye.
Mr. Ocampo?
Aye.
Ms. Hickson?
Aye.
Ms. Grant?
Aye.
Ms. Barbahan, aye. Mr. Alexander?
Aye.
Motion carried.
Okay, can I please get a motion for approval of directives for administrative employee?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion?
Discussion.
Go ahead.
Go on, Stan.
I looked it over, pretty much just things that I think that have been done before. There was only one item, which was the one that we talked about, the presenting all items.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a little confused about that one, but other than that, we can do a roll.
Okay.
And I've seen it done before here, so.
All right, thank you, Sam. Ms. Peterson?
I disagree with the reimbursement. And to further notice, everyone that turns in their receipts are reimbursed. Right is right. I don't know of a superintendent that has to tell you what time you arrive, what time you leave, give you a log. That's kind of changing the contract. I think we probably should take a look at what his contracts say and reference, he can leave here and go and teach at a college according to the contract. So I'm just saying that, we need to really look at his contract. That's it. We can move on.
Who created this document?
I did with Mr. Gleason.
You did, which is, so this is vetted against the contract and it's perfectly legal.
It's vetted against the contract and the board policy and code.
Okay.
You're being lynched. You know how I used to do back in the day?
Wow. Whoa.
That's out of order.
Okay, that's your opinion. I don't thought it was mine.
Can we go?
Let's vote.
Let's Hearing no other discussion, please call the vote.
Mr. Alexander?
Nay.
Ms. Barbahan, aye. Ms. Grant?
Aye.
Ms. Hickson? Aye. Mr. Ocampo?
Aye.
Ms. Patterson?
Nay.
Mr. Gutierrez?
Aye.
Thank you. I believe that was it for all of our action items. I'm just going to go down the list. Fellow board members, really quick, the rest of this is information. So we discussed the science equipment purchase. Thank you, Dr. Williams, as well as Solution Tree Professional Development, SABIS Professional Development, One Goal Memorandum of Understanding, and the Cengage for materials, the CTE materials. Did anybody have any additional questions about those items while we have Dr. Williams here? No, okay. Our next item that we had for information was a special payroll. That was pretty self-explanatory, I thought. If you do have any questions in the coming weeks, I do encourage you to reach out to Dr. Henderson. If there are any questions or any discussion to be had now, let me know.
One quick question, if we could get a grand total of what the increases would be, thank you.
Sure.
Okay, the personal count. Oh, I'm sorry.
Could we also have information on how long these people have been with the district?
Oh, part of the,
Yeah, for item 31.
Thank you. Any other questions or discussion? No? All right, the personnel count, number 32. Dr. Henderson, who is speaking of that, or did we already discuss that?
no, we've already, that was a closed session. But you know what, we can discuss it.
Was there anything you wanted to point out?
No, we're good.
For information? Again, I encourage everyone, if you have any questions about this, please reach out to Dr. Henderson.
One thing to note.
Yes.
In the personnel report, I still see Ernesto Saldivar here, but I was told that he's no longer with the, I'm sorry, apologies.
I think he still works here.
He's still here? Okay.
All right, if there are no other questions in the personal account, Ms. Ocampo, or sorry, Ms. Barbahan, I'm seeing David. Jenny, can you please read the FOIA report, number 33?
In April 2023, Proviso Township High School District 29 received the following FOIA requests. April 6, 2023, Melinda Creasy requested bid tabulations, name of awarded general contractor, list of subcontractors performing painting, drywall finishing, glazing, and signage. Information will be provided. April 18, 2023, Amaris Rodriguez requested records of all legal notices, public notices, and any other notice submitted to the Chicago Tribune for publication in the last year, along with invoices for each. Information will be provided.
Any questions about our FOIA requests?
If I may, I received two. One from Mr. Fred Francois regarding it's regarding Mr. Canine. That is not listed here. I think it goes as far back as March.
Okay.
That's still outstanding. And then there was another one from Mr. Jonathan Kirk, who said he submitted something in March as well.
Yes, so we have two that we need to get back to. I'm going to forward both of these to Dr. Henderson, and I'm sure you've seen them, but I'm going to forward them so we can put them fresh on your mind so we can get these answered.
Amanda, so when I was secretary, I know I did my best to try to forward these, and that's one of my pet peeves. You have to give these people the information they want. It doesn't matter. They're community members, and they have to get that information. So I suggest that we should have more than one person doing FOIA reports, just while we get get these done, at least for now, till
We can make that happen.
Yeah, just to
Mr. Baltras.
Yeah, it just bothers me.
Who is our current FOIA officer?
We will have two, and that will be Ms. Salgado and Ms. Vanderbilt, our communications person. They're both certified.
Okay. Great.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Treasurer's report, Mr. Moody had given us that part of the report. Did anybody have any additional questions at this time? No, thank you, Mr. Moody. Anyone have old business? Old business. Hearing none. Does anyone have new business?
I don't know if we'll call it new business, but and I think we really should look into, and then this is, I don't know if I could talk about it. I think I called you Mr. Gleason on this? You know, me and being a union electrician, we usually used to get randomly checked for drugs, right? So I was wondering if, you know, I think we have a need because we do work in a school, and this is probably part of a bargaining agreement for some people, but I think our security guards should be tested for that. Well, not the security, but the staff, because they're part of the staff, right? Just because I hear rumors, and they're just rumors about, you know, security guards buying stuff from kids in the schools. So if we were to at least randomly, you know, because we do, I don't want to discriminate, it has to be part of the bargaining agreement, but I think if you're going to work at our school, we should be drug-free. That's what I think. And I know I'm probably stepping into something, but, you know, in my union, they don't, you know, they all grab us randomly and say, go to Quest Diagnostic and give us a test. Especially in the school, I think it will be more important, especially when we got young kids that, you know, that's what's trending out there, so.
Thank you.
Maybe for our next negotiations with the staff. Everybody, actually everybody, really. You know, even cannabis is real. I mean, you could drink, but you can't be drunk in school, right?
Well.
We'll step in the fine line, but yeah, I think that's very important. Yeah. And we do need to work on our training for security there. I know I heard about it and I don't want to be part of it, but when it comes close to home and I get calls about security, it's not respecting people that, you know, that when they should. And I'm not saying everybody, I'm not throwing everybody in the poll, I'm just saying some, you know, there is some security that I know personally that are very professional, but there are others that are not, and that's what I hear from students and even parents. So I just got a call this week about that. So if we could, you know, get the director of security and maybe give them training, help them out on how, you know, best treat people or how to behave in difficult circumstances. That's all.
Thank you. All right, if there are no other matters to bring up, do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
We're adjourned. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.